Hey, so I've always wanted to do a video where I just kind of yap about Titanfall 2 for the longest time, but I really wasn't sure what to do it on. By the time I was finally able to actually make videos, everything that could have possibly been said about Titanfall 2 has pretty much already been said. And what little I could talk about, I don't think is really worth talking about. And what I mean is this. Basically, I personally don't think that fully automatic hit scan weapons belong in a game that is so focused on movement, at least for half of it. Like, I know the Titans are the namesake of the series, and yeah, the cool big mechs, I get it, but I really enjoy the pilot gameplay too, but I really don't enjoy the basic hit-scan assault rifle that just nullifies the movement, assuming they have halfway decent aim. Like, my ideal Titanfall pilot experience would probably combine TF2 style weapons and damage thresholds and movement with TF2 style movement, but these are just my opinions. They're honestly not fully fleshed out, I haven't thought about them too much, and honestly I'm pretty sure they'd be rather unpopular since at that point we're almost talking about an entirely different kind of game. So I really didn't know what to do a video on in regards to this until I saw a YouTuber by the name of Great Blue do a video where he and some of his friends ranked every weapon in Team Fortress 2 in terms of cheesiness as opposed to effectiveness. Since my friends won't stop calling me YouTuber in person or on Discord whenever we hang out, I figured I might as well embrace it and start stealing ideas. So here is the 2024 Titanfall 2 Titan Cheesiness tier list. Now, a few things before we get into it. Firstly, this is completely subjective and purely based on feeling as opposed to balance. While I would personally consider Ronin to be a perfectly balanced Titan, at least in the current state of the game, he can feel pretty bullshit to fight at times. Secondly, I will only be ranking them in terms of Titan versus Titan interactions. While Ion and Ronin are particularly good at hunting pilots, every Titan can cheese a pilot in their own unique way, so I will not be taking those interactions into account. And finally, the tiers. We have mostly honest, slightly cheesy, very cheesy, and you are not going to heaven. There isn't a completely honest tier because Respawn seem to have the balanced philosophy of if everyone's overpowered, nobody is. So every Titan has something that could be seen as cheesy, even if I would consider everything else about them to be fully honest. With that said, let's get into it. I'm a fire in my leg. I'm going to be going in the order that the Titans are listed on the selection screen, so starting up we have Ion. If I were to put her on a regular tier list, she'd not be S tier, but A tier. I personally reserve S tier for things that I think need to be nerfed, and in my eyes, I think Ion is perfectly balanced in the current state of Titanfall 2. She needs no buffs and no nerfs, and while yes, she is very strong, she's not strong because she's overpowered, she's strong because she is consistent. She is consistently good in pretty much any situation with one of the tightest knit kits in the entire game, and this consistency translates to fighting her. The main thing you need to keep in mind is her Uno reverse shield, doubly so if you're playing Legion, but any Titan can get caught by it. You and your opponent kinda have to play a mind game and predict each other's actions, and in this regard it feels similar to playing a fighting game. This protects her in close range, and Ion can also engage at long range with her laser shot, and her splitter rifle is particularly good at covering her mid-range needs, so she's got a tool for every situation, and you typically approach her the exact same way each time, only really changing slightly depending on the range of the engagement. She is a perfect default Titan. I'm going to be putting her in mostly honest. I've personally never felt frustrated fighting her as a Titan, even when playing Legion. She's skill-based on both ends, and is honestly one of the more fun Titans to play both as and against. Big Daddy Scorch. Very cheesy. I know Scorch is typically considered to be the worst Titan in the game, and even I would say so, but let me ask you this. Does this interaction look like fun from this perspective?
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, Scorch completely shuts down Legion, but no matter the Titan, or even the game for that matter, area denial can be pretty unfun to fight against in some situations. And while everyone knows that Scorch's flame shield absolutely melts in close range, something I don't see people saying is that because of the flame shield, Scorch himself becomes that area denial, not just his thermite. The mere presence of his flame shield simply means that you don't want to be anywhere near him, so while yes, he is objectively the worst Titan, he actually controls a lot more of each individual fight than you might think at a first glance. Don't get me wrong, he is really fun to play, and I can't fault the player for doing so, but once the roles are reversed, it's incredibly cheesy on the receiving end, which is why I'm putting him here.
Voodoo 1, Viper's on station. Your journey ends here, pilot.
North Star, slightly cheesy, but only ever so slight, and most of that is simply due to her tether trap. More on that in a bit, but first of all, she's the only long-range Titan, Ion doesn't count, and she's incredibly fast with up to 3 dashes. So if the North Star is good, you're never gonna see the bastard. At most, you'll see like 3 pixels of them before your health bar gets chunked, and if they're feeling particularly cheeky, they'll be targeting you only once you've engaged someone else. In any other game, this might feel pretty cheesy, but this is fine considering that almost nothing one-shots a Titan. But once you do manage to flank her and catch her off guard, now you gotta deal with the tether trap. Look, I hate stun mechanics, but to its credit, if I absolutely had to choose a stun mechanic to fight, it would be this one, as you can interact with it both before and after it goes off. Stun mechanics in games directed at the player suck because they take away your control. At least this gives you some control in the interaction, so it feels a lot less bullshit. Just let us melee it, and it's honestly fine, at least for a stun mechanic. Again, slightly cheesy, but only ever so slight. Ronin, my personal main, but that does not mean I'm gonna hold back with him. Cheesy as fuck. He has a stun mechanic that also does decent damage, and he can have up to 2 of them. Honestly, I kinda wish this was replaced with something else, anything else. Like, just boost the damage slightly and get rid of the stun. It would be fine, you know, have it be like a longer range poke tool. Anyways, he can have up to 4 dashes, which is what I run, making him the single most mobile Titan in the game with incredibly high burst damage. Oh yeah, the phase battery tech. That's balanced. And that's not even mentioning what I believe to be the single strongest defensive ability in the entire game. 75% damage reduction with 360-degree coverage and no cooldown whatsoever. I mean, seriously, what the fuck? Be glad Respawn did not include regenerating shields in this game. Do you know how fucking strong Ronin would be with a regenerating shield? He'd basically regenerate an entire Atlas Titan for the low price of not taking damage for a little bit, which he is incredibly good at doing, by the way. Ronin has no counter. He is the counter. There is not a single Titan that Ronin is at a disadvantage against. Even a long-range Titan like Northstar, thanks to everything he has. They can only have 3 dashes. I've got 4, bitch. And that's part of the reason why I started playing him in the first place. I mean, he's fun to play, much like Scorch, but I was really tired of my abilities going bye-bye. More on that later. Yeah, cheesy as fuck, but I still love playing him. Next!
I love refrigerators.
Tone. I gotta be honest, I've never understood the hate for her. Now, I did only start playing this game back in December of 2017 after all the updates and patches had already happened, so maybe the hate is like remnants from her state at launch. Like, I believe she's gotten hit with some nerfs, but in her current state, I really don't see a reason to hate her. It's hard for her to be unpredictable given how linear her playstyle is, and her kit ensures that she will always be susceptible to close-range damage. The only time I've ever gotten frustrated fighting a Tone was years ago when I fought a group that was definitely a party. One was Tone, one was Northstar, and one was Scorch. The Tone and Northstar essentially shared the reinforced particle wall, and Scorch covered their flank. But even then, that was more so good team coordination against my team, which wasn't coordinating whatsoever. So I can't really fault Tone for that situation at all. Now, as I said, I am a Ronin main, and honestly, Ronin has 0 problems taking care of Tone. Like, seriously, I think Ronin counters Tone better than Scorch can counter Lesion, as Ronin can quickly and consistently move in and just delete everything Tone can possibly do. So me playing Ronin so much has probably, actually definitely shaped my opinion of Tone, but I do think she has the lowest skill floor of the entire roster, even lower than Ion, so maybe, you know, people see her as a noob Titan, but at the same time, she has perhaps the lowest skill ceiling, meaning her potential is rather limited. And honestly, I think it says a lot when one of the most effective things you can do as a Titan is move out of the way and let your teammates use your abilities more than you do. And it's because of the particle wall being so strong in this aspect that I am going to put her in slightly cheesy, but it's just the particle wall and maybe Sonar. Again, I play Ronin, but I've also never had a problem with the rockets with pretty much any Titan. Maybe people who play other Titans a lot more probably have different opinions, but I don't know. I really don't think the rockets are that hard to react to. By the way, I was looking through some of the Grunt lines, and I think one of the Grunt lines is, if they kill you, they say, "Pilot down, can't wait to tell my ex-wife."
Stand by for Titanfall.
Grunt down, can't wait to tell his ex-wife.
Weapon.
Lesion. If people didn't already disagree with me on Tone, they're probably gonna disagree with me now. Lesion is a big gun dude, and is tailor-made for people who want funny gun to go burt and sneeze. He does fuckloads of damage, and honestly, I don't think any of it is particularly unearned. He's big, he's slow, and is rewarded with big damage for good positioning, but none of his abilities are particularly bullshit. If anything, his gun shield is more BS to himself since you can still shoot him anyways. Also, like, gun shield, come on, that's rather boring. I kind of wish Legion had the reinforced particle wall as opposed to Tone, and maybe Tone could have a gun shield. Honestly, that could probably work. I don't know if that would be overpowered on either end, but I think that would be more interesting design-wise, at least. Anyways, Legion as he is, though he's not the best Titan, can still put in some honest work, and I would say that none of it is complete bullshit. Some people may bring up Smart Core, but it's not like hitting Titans with a Predator Cannon is all that hard to begin with. Sure, it fucks over pilots, but every Titan fucks over pilots, we've talked about that. So against Titans, I honestly see this more so as a glorified infinite ammo ability. All in all, very honest Titan in my opinion.
Hey, Monarch, how about we botch this mission? I wouldn't mind staying a few more days out here.
Food.
Oh boy, Monarch! Fuck this Titan. Remember when I said I was tired of my abilities going bye-bye? Well, I used to main both Ion and Scorch, and fuck you if you picked Arc rounds, which of course you're going to. Why wouldn't you? None of this is deserved, by the way. She fucks over 2 Titans basically for free once she gets her first upgrade core. Her defensive ability is a stun mechanic because of course it fucking is. Her utility lets her spam it back to back, and her core encourages her to play lame as shit. Oh yeah, superior chassis. You see, people like to focus on the 6 health bars that they can see at the current moment, but what they don't focus on is the upgrade core shield boost. Why don't people focus on this? Because by the time a Monarch reaches superior chassis, that's their 3rd upgrade, meaning 3 extra shield health bars. And if you consider the fact that most Monarch players will be running battery backup, because why wouldn't you? That means that with the 4 shields and 2 extra superior chassis health bars, you've had to fight 2 fucking ogres of a Titan. And that's at the very least because Energy Thief is a fucking thing. Who thought this was okay? She's tankier than an ogre, as mobile as an Atlas, and has a fully automatic hit scan primary that means she's able to put out decent damage at any given range.
Well, come on, I know it's a fan favorite, but seriously, give the XO40 to any other fucking Titan, seriously. Monarch is the reason I play Ronin, because he can pick and choose his fights as he pleases, and is the only Titan that is able to do so. If you're playing any other Titan, Monarch is complete bullshit to fight. You are not going to heaven, fuck you.
Okay, I got very animated at the end there, but that is my 2024 Titanfall 2 Titan Cheesiness tier list. Why did I say the full name again? I wanted to make this video mainly to just give myself a little bit of a break. I still wanted to pump something out, but I need something easy to make, and tier list videos are honestly very easy to make. I mean, seriously, I'm just talking into my microphone about my opinion. Oh, and also, if you disagree with me, you are wrong, because I'm a YouTuber, and obviously my opinion is more important than you. Okay, but seriously, as for my next video, I'm probably going to be doing a video on the next update to Helldivers 2. I've already recorded some lines, I've just discussing the state of the game as it is currently before the patch, and I'm really excited for the patch next Tuesday. I'm hoping it's a good one. It seems like it'll be a good one based on what we've heard so far, but, you know, I think the community is in a I'll believe it when I see it type of deal, which is very much where I am, but I am really excited. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my rambling. Have a good one. I'm gonna head to class now.
You gotta stop this, man. Don't bully the Legion main. I already get it bad as is. I get bullied by literally everything.
You are dominating.